Hello and welcome back to Green Hill Gaming, where I share my passion of video games with the whole wide world. In this live stream, I'll be reading the Baker Incident Report in Resident Evil Village. So sit back, relax, but as always, and more importantly, enjoy the live stream. So the Baker Incident Report is basically a detailed description of the Baker incident, report of events after the Baker incident from Resident Evil 7. It's a bonus feature of I think it's.
How did my guy do last stream? Also new DLC.
Coulson, oh, if only. If only this was the new DLC. I don't know what's happening with the Resident Evil Village DLC, to be honest with you. Still no official word from Capcom as of to what the DLC is going to be or when it is going to be releasing. So no, this is not DLC. This is not DLC. This is exclusive content to the, I think it was the Digital Deluxe Edition, or just the Deluxe Edition in general, to Resident Evil Village. So Coulson, you're very welcome back to Green Hill Gaming, first of all. So in this live stream, I'll be reading the Baker Incident Report, so I hope you are doing well and I hope you enjoy. No. This is a report. It's a report. There is art as well. There's the the tragedy of Ethan Winters concept art, and then the actual concept art from the game itself. But no, this is a report. It's a report. It's a report of events after the Baker incident from Resident Evil 7. How did I do? Jesus. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was playing Micro Machines. It's a tough game. I didn't do any better. After you left, Coulson, to be honest with you. I still try to figure out which Micro Machines game I actually played first on the Sega Mega Drive.
Did the baker make any mince pies?
Mighty Duck. The only mince pies that these bakers
Dang Anbu, bad
made
luck.
were humans. I know, yeah. Anbu didn't get the job done. Shame on Anbu. Joke. And Mighty Duck, you're very welcome back to Green Hill Gaming. Mighty Duck, in this live stream, I'll be reading the Baker Incident Report from Resident Evil Village. But yeah, the only mince, the only mince pies. Supon, welcome back to Green Hill Gaming too, Supon.
The 13th May free.
Keep the 13th of May free. Why? What's happening on the 13th of May? I'll check my journal.
I'm in your city.
Ah,
you never
nice
read
one.
This.
Nice one.
Shame on you.
I never read what? I did read it. I read this plenty of times, Supon. I'm just reading it again. This is actually probably my third time reading this actually on Green Hill Gaming. But Supon, how are you?
Scary.
How are you doing? Oh, it's quite scary indeed. But I was going to say, yeah. So Mighty Duck, the only mince.
Then why are you streaming it?
Because I want to.
You will have to come for a Coke.
Why do you play Fortnite so much?
Platinum the game, it's much easier than Sifu.
I'm sure. You go away and platinum Sifu then, Supon, if you think it's so easy, for God's sake. But yeah, I was going to say there, Supon, I was going to say there, Mighty Duck.
I'm in your city, serial killer vibe, also fuck off, Saber.
I know, man, he always has to bring in this, like, kind of negativity, like, doesn't he? You know? Why are you streaming it then? Platinum Resident Evil Village. Why don't you platinum
Trying to
Sifu?
get Drive Strange tickets.
Do you know what I mean? God, like. Just getting my live stream up and running on my phone so I can read all the comments.
No one cares, Saber. Well, I am fucking Joe from that Netflix show, and I will kill and your family.
Yeah, sure you will. You're like 4 foot nothing.
Continue, Johnny lol.
I will. I just want to read the rest of the comments.
Nobody cares about you and Nathan.
For a coke. As far as... What's my joke that I wanted to say? Did the baker make any mince pies? The only mince pies that these bakers are making are human mince pies. That's my terrible joke. So yeah, we're going to get started and we're going to read.
Netflix is on decline, robbing bastards, price increases.
Yeah, I did see that earlier, right? I'm not surprised they're increasing their price and they're not actually improving their service, if you ask me, no, to be honest with you.
Don't make me remakes 50 Shades of Grey with your mother. Yeah, they're holes.
But Supon, let me just say something, right? This is my channel. I'll stream whatever the hell I want to. You don't like it, sling your hook. You got that?
I will ban your entire family.
I'm streaming this again because I want to. I don't give a fuck what you want. Yeah? You don't want this, then
They
fuck
upping the
off.
price.
Then fuck off and play a Fortnite, which you do multiple times. Yeah?
Sling your hook on your ma.
Shut up. Okay, so here we go. So this is the Baker incident
Your
report.
mom.
I always like, shut up, Supon. I like the concept art here as well.
Play
So
us.
what the fuck is he on about? So you actually see.
Yo Coulson, we already had a increase last month. Stream yo PP.
Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? So you see all these.
Johnny trying to have a lazy stream for once, but why Netflix is upping price?
Yeah, Netflix is getting very bad now, to be honest with you. So on the bottom right hand corner, you can actually see the Baker family themselves. The very far left, you have a young Lucas, which is the son. Beside him is the father, which is Jack Baker. To the right of Jack Baker is the daughter, Zoe Baker. And at the far end, then you have the mother, Margaret. Are you actually retarded or something? Honestly. And you've got like photos of the Baker.
Lucas Gay, they really tried to make him a funny, cool character, but he wasn't.
I don't think they'll try to make him a funny, cool character, actually, Supon. That is an interesting take on it. That's your personal take on the character. I personally think they were trying to make him as this like psychopathical. Maybe you view psychopathical as funny and cool, which wouldn't surprise me, to
I
be
wish
honest.
I could ban you for being a negative Nancy. Baker family are so like the devil rejects.
No, they're not really. No, they're not. See, you wouldn't know Resident Evil. No offense, no, Mighty Duck, but you wouldn't know Resident Evil, in general, or Resident Evil 7.
They're all psychos.
As much as no, they're not
I
psychos,
loved his
actually.
DLC in 7.
Oh, see, I like that now, because you have no fucking clue about Resident Evil in the end of the day, do you, Supon? Because they're not actually psychos. They're actually not psychos. They're actually perfectly normal human beings, a perfectly normal family, a loving family, before they were infected by a very advanced...
I am son of Goni, so you suck ass.
A very advanced fungi, which made them see
The goo
things
fudged them up.
that weren't there and do things that they necessarily didn't want to do. So they're not actually fucked up. They're not actually psychopaths. However, Lucas was actually. That's the one exception. Lucas himself, not the family, but Lucas himself was actually
And
a psychopath.
I'm Johnny's father, set down boy.
So I just wanted to make that perfectly clear. Baker family, completely normal family, before they were infected.
Connie, I do know they're not psychos, Dumbo. I am
just said the
talking
war, you
about they are
stupid cunt.
psychos after they got the virus.
Well, you didn't say that, did you? You fucking retard. Honestly. You call me dumbass and he's a complete retard. Couldn't make it up, like, could you?
Dang, they didn't know this.
Well, I like how
I hate
Supon
him.
changes his story afterwards once he realizes he's actually wrong, like, Why didn't you say what you should have said first time around then? That would have made things easier
I
for
hate
yourself,
you.
wouldn't it? Yeah, sure you do. Yeah. Do you give a shit, Supon? Huh? So this report depicts...
Oh man, the zoomable crap is so annoying.
Oh, man, you're telling me, man. You're telling me?
Not you, Gonny Aber.
This isn't my first rodeo. And what do you hate, Enbu? This isn't my first rodeo, put it that way. I'm experiencing this bullshit.
Duck.
That you put me into the next Resident Evil game. This report depicts my investigation into the events.
Says the Boomer Zoomer himself.
What the fuck is he on about? After the incident at the baker's residence. So it's actually a detailed report of the events after the baker incident. And kind of like in between as well, like, you know.
Johnny would love on Ada, yes sir.
Love on Ada. Ada Wong would love on Ada. Bit of Ada Wong. The Baker incident, July 2017. A number of people lost their lives at the residence in the middle of the American countryside. It was a truly horrifying tragedy. I still don't know the exact number of victims.
Ada Wong is self-sexual.
Why would you even...
JK, she loves Leon.
What is it with people nowadays that they have to just bring this shit into every single fucking form of entertainment? Like, why do I give a shit about that? Like, what has that got to do with Resident Evil?
Going through it.
What has that got to do with the lore of Resident Evil? Like, seriously, like, Supon, just stop, please. Can you just make it about this game and the stream before I actually lose my shit completely?
Why are you not in bed in Pakistan? It's really late there.
Oh, it's very late there.
What's the main character in 7? Wife love her.
What's the main character in 7? Wife love her. Main character in Resident Evil 7 is Ethan Winters. Two survivors, husband and wife, Ethan and Mia Winters, were able to shed some light on the events which would have shook the world, but there was a cover-up.
And Ethan's wife is?
Mia Winters. Ethan and Mia Winters.
Mia, thank you, game, haha.
Yeah. It's right there, isn't it?
Ethan splinters and his wife Mia winners.
Yeah. Mia and Ethan Winters. But I would say that Ethan is the main character, personally. So there was a cover-up, and the Winters has vanished. There is someone or something powerful acting behind the scenes. I just know it. There always is with a cover-up. I decided to investigate, to follow the breadcrumbs.
What games does Capcom make besides Re?
A lot. Monster Hunter, Mega Man, Street Fighter.
My new wife is same as
Devil May Cry. Lots. You're new, man. You've been banging Samus Aran, man, before she even took off her helmet. How can I be sure? Because I'm someone who was there. I'm just gonna... Spoiler alert.
Those breadcrumbs, I decided to put them on my wife's bum. Then I decided to lick them and put it in.
Jesus Christ. Madness. So, spoiler alert, the person...
Since 1984, baby lol.
Yep. The person who actually wrote this report is actually Zoe Baker, the third survivor of the Baker incident. The daughter of Jack and Margaret Baker. First of all, how was this incident... how this incident was reported upon its discovery by the world.
Yes, she became a reporter after all this.
Yeah, it's actually interesting that she became a role. I think she could play some kind of role in Resident Evil 9. I know it won't be called Resident Evil 9, but you know what I mean. The next Resident Evil game, I think she'll play some kind of role in that. I think everything that you're going to hear in this report, especially towards the end, I think it's going to play a massive role in the next Resident Evil game. Let's take a look at
Quick
some
question: do any of the bakers have any of the game creators' faces in the photos? The end of Zoe DLC is great, but I hate the alligator parts because they instant kill you. I know what the DLC is for this game.
What is it? Let's read all those comments now one by one.
Yeah, they would probably bring her back as a reporter.
Possibly. What do you mean? Quick question. Do any of the bakers have any of the game creator faces? I don't know what you mean, Mighty Dog. Sorry. The end of Zoe DLC is great, but I hate the alligator part because instant kill. This makes it tough, isn't it?
But it's a spoiler if you haven't finished game.
I finished the game well by now. Supon has as well. Well, Mighty Dog hasn't, so we won't spoil it yet. I don't think anyone knows what the DLC is going to be, that's the thing. They will probably bring her back as a reporter. I'd say so. Possibly. I'd say so. Let's take a look at some newspaper clippings from the time to see how the news was manipulated. 1. Discovery...
Like the developers' faces in the game, or people involved in creating the game.
I don't think so. I'm not sure. I know that there was characters that were like investigating like paranormal activity. I know that one of them was actually modelled after Pete something. He was actually one of the producers of the game. But yeah, so apart from that, yeah, there was that, alright.
I finished quick as F sweating, and on the final boss my fingers fatigued because of adaptive triggers. Miranda caused me pain like Mr. Splint.
You know what's interesting about different generations of gamers?
I thought you play as Ethan after the end of the game, and watch how it played out, and he survived and it leads into meeting his daughter. What do you think about the end of Zoe Alligator's Gonny? You know how he's walking at the end.
I know a lot of people are saying that as well. I didn't play much of the Zoe DLC. I wasn't really a fan of that, to be honest with you. Yeah, that it could be something to do with that. I think it will have something to do with Chris Redfield and him going after the BSAA. That's my personal take. Or else Ada, because Ada was planned to be in the game, but it was cancelled at the last minute. So I think it'll probably have either something to do with Ada Wong or Chris Redfield.
It's a great DLC, but alligators are the worst part.
Jesus Christ, I said the fourth time you said it, like, okay, like, you didn't like the alligators. I understand, Supon.
Ada cancelled is the worst thing they did.
Yeah, strange, right, like. So this is a local newspaper, the Dulvey Daily.
Damn it, he's worth then, Nathan.
I know, yeah. July 22nd.
I hate those thing alligators.
Alright, like, you just said it, like, fucking million times, Supon. You just shut the fuck up, like. July 22nd, 2017. Family of 4 found dead in Dulvey. Dulvey County. How about you shush, Supon? For fuck's sake.
Going head to bed, guys, have a great stream. Supon didn't like the alligators, Johnny.
Oh, he didn't. Good night, Mighty Dog. Thank you for dropping by the live stream. Appreciate that, man. And I'll talk to you in the next live stream. So, Dulvey County.
Bye, Anthony. Sleep well. Never night, Mighty.
Okay. What the fuck didn't you know his name? That's strange. Right. He knows your name, Mighty Dog. Dulvey County Sheriff's Office have reported that the Baker family were found dead in their home.
How does everyone know everyone here?
Everyone knows everything. In their home in North Dulvey on the 21st of July. The surrounding details are currently unknown, apart from the deaths of Jack Baker, his wife Margaret, their son Lucas, and daughter Zoe. Actually, Zoe survived, actually. Zoe's actually writing this report. Spoiler. Deputy Sheriff Dave Anderson has also been missing since the 19th, according to Deputy Sheriff Riley Whiteford, who visited the Baker's residence around the time of his disappearance. There's social media posts July 22nd, 2017. That thing with the dead family, wasn't that where that giant
Because
black
I am your
monster was?
father.
What the fuck is he on about? It's actually cool. You actually see like social media posts and everything. You think they were eaten by that thing? No way. It's not some cheesy horror movie. Old man Jack did say some crazy stuff. I remember him getting into a lot of fights. He probably killed the whole family then. Offed himself. So this is how
IGTG go get my snacks because spooky story time with Daddy Nagel.
Oh god, get your snacks.
Nagel.
It is gonna be it is gonna be spooky.
Night Green Hill Gaming, sleep well boy. Up Cork Bay.
How are you, Mark? Good night to you as well. Welcome to Green Hill Gaming, where I am reading the Baker incident report in Resident Evil Village. Yeah, go Cork indeed. So you can see this people on social media
Hello, Mark.
giving their opinions on what went on. Of course, none of them knew what the hell went on. Of course, they have to become like, fucking their own reporter. Oh, I know what happened.
Wait, IBRB.
Yeah, no problem. I'm not going to wait in the same screen for you. Like,
Bye,
just
Mark.
hurry. Get your snacks and hurry. Transcript of a complaint to the county sheriff's office. I don't believe it. It's been 2 days already, but you haven't reported anything else. Was it murder? An accident? Suicide? And what's with the National Guard sealing the place off? What are you all hiding? Very little was reported shortly after the Baker incident was discovered, leading to rapid spread of rumours and speculation. The Bakers were completely isolated from the rest of the community, and sealing off the entire area around the home set things in motion. I recall there was a lot of public pressure on the press for information. I admit at the time I was being held in quarantine by a certain organisation and couldn't see any of the news for myself. They finally allowed me to watch TV a few days after, and I was flabbergasted by the stark difference between the reports and reality. 2. The cover-up. Local newspaper, the Dudley Daily, July 30th, 2017. Sheriff's Office said Baker family killed by natural gas. In a follow-up to the deaths of the Baker family on July 21st, the Dudley County Sheriff's Office stated, it is highly likely that their deaths were caused by a hydrogen sulfide leak. The local area is surrounded by wetlands which, combined with concentration of pollution, could have led to the buildup of toxic gas that claimed the lives of the Baker family. The leak has been blocked. However, the authorities have sealed off the area in order to prevent any further accidents. The victims included were deceased Jack Baker, Margaret Baker, Lucas Baker, Zoe Baker, which is false, she's still alive, Dave Anderson, Clancy Javis, Andre Stickland, and Peter Walken. Peter Walken is actually he's likeliness, and his first name is actually the same as one of the producers of the game. So fun fact there. And injured is Eaton and Mia Winters. More social media posts. July 30th, 2017. Toxic hydrogen sulfide gas. They're kidding, right? I heard there were soldiers, tanks, helicopters, the whole shebang when it happened. The government's up to something for sure. And here come the conspiracy theorists. A bunch of nutjobs like you come out of the woodwork during the Raccoon City incident too. What's funny about that is I think it became public knowledge that the Raccoon City incident was actually a cover-up. I think during the events of Resident Evil 6, you kind of pretty much find that out, that they were basically, the US government was actually held accountable for the Raccoon City incident. So it's kind of strange how some fucker in social media is like saying, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist for questioning the government or the Baker incident report. Pretty fucking... I like how I'm having an argument with an actual fake fucking social media post. That's just me. I just... oh my god, man. I'll even rant with an actual fictional Facebook post. But there was that black monster and that satellite photo of the shipwreck. You have to admit something's fishy. Magazine inspector. An interview with Sally Baldwin, professor of geological sciences at Midden University. Interviewer. So you don't agree with the report from the sheriff's office that it was a natural gas leak? Baldwin. We can't rule it out completely, but it's very unusual, all things considered. Hydrogen sulfide builds up in areas where there is a lot of volcanic activity. The tongue of Dulvey, however, has no volcanic activity anywhere in the area. My own geological survey in 1998 revealed absolutely no hydrogen sulfide in the area. A tragic natural gas leak. That was the official stance on the Baker incident. Pretty crazy reading this. Let's just take a little break now, because anyone who's played Resident Evil 7 will know like that there was absolutely no gas leak. It was a very advanced, deadly, mold, fungus, that actually caused the deaths. And of course, that wasn't reported in the official incident. But this is a complete fabrication. Nothing about the murders in that house. Nothing about the terrifying monsters that stalked the halls and lived within its walls. It's evident that someone was keeping the truth hidden, and it's crazy when you find out who. If you follow the lore of Resident Evil, you'll be just like I was when I first read this report, just flabbergasted by who's actually behind the cover-up. The thing that surprised me the most was the fact that my name was on the list of victims. The organization still had me in quarantine. I was terrified the whole thing would come to an end with me actually being among the deceased. Thankfully, it was a needless fear. The organization gave me a new identity and let me go. I guess they figured I was harmless and didn't know anything else. I was allowed to live as a new person, apparently for my own safety. I tried to contact the other two survivors, Ethan and Mia. They saved my life after all. I wanted to at least thank them, but they'd completely disappeared. I have a feeling that Zoe Baker is definitely going to kind of play a part in kind of helping out Rose Winters in the next Resident Evil if she makes an appearance. Over Zoe will be much older by then. But I'm telling you, just take a little break now. But I'm telling you one thing: the next Resident Evil is just going to be the most out there Resident Evil that has ever actually happened. The entire series. This is the most quiet the live stream has been in a hell of a long time. Supon is still getting his snacks. A lot of snacks he must be getting. I know the organisation knows where they are, so I decided to investigate the BSAA. So that's the organisation, the BSAA. Now don't confuse the BSAA with the other organisation that gets referenced throughout the Resident Evil lore. Completely different organisation altogether. Don't mistake it for any other organisation. She is referring to the BSAA. So it's actually the BSAA that were handling this cover-up, essentially. Crazy to think, because they were first introduced in Resident Evil 5, and they were like quote unquote the good guys, what I mean, trying to save the world from bioterrorism that kind of gave birth after the events of the Raccoon City incident. Once the Umbrella Corporation's deadly bioweapons got into the hands of terrorists, what I mean, that's where bioterrorism came from, and the BSA is basically opposed to bioterrorism. So it's kind of crazy to think that they're actually here now covering up a bioterrorist incident. So the BSAA, Bioterrorism Security Assessment Alliance, a counter-bioterrorism organization sanctioned by the United Nations. It was formed to combat the rise of bioterrorism after the collapse of Umbrella Pharmaceuticals. They had combated terrorism across the world, including China and Europe, and are highly regarded as bioterrorist police. The BSAA finally intervened in the Baker incident and were the ones that saved Ethan, Mia, and I. Thanks to my detainment in the facility, I have a pretty good idea of who their members are. It's interesting that they mention members. I was very, very persuasive when it came to asking them about the organization and top secret documents. I actually have this crazy prediction. I always have crazy predictions when it comes to Resident Evil and the next games. I think that the BSAA is being set up as like the next like kind of umbrella corporation in terms of like going after them and kind of exposing them and kind of like trying to find out what they're up to and stuff. It's crazy, like. Yeah. The topic I was most interested in was, of course, the Baker incident. I wanted to know the truth the BSAA was hiding. You're going to find out. You're also going to find out like why they covered up this incident. It kind of makes a little bit of sense. So this is 3, the hidden truth. It's a magazine inspector. Secret meeting between the sheriff and international organization. One of the reporters has unearthed evidence that a secret meeting happened between Dulvey Sheriff's Coleridge and an international organization known as the Bioterrorism Security Assessment Alliance. Many have voiced their concern around the legitimacy of the Sheriff's Office statement that the incident at the Baker estate was caused by a toxic gas leak. So now it's been like this document, this meeting has been unearthed. So interesting. So it's not a gas leak, because a gas leak would have nothing to do with it. It wouldn't be a biological weapon. Inspector suspects there might be more to the story, and the Sheriff's Office and the BSA are covering something up. We reached out to the Sheriff's Office, but they refused to give a statement. Edgar McClintock, who makes up the names in Resident Evil? Absolutely crazy. Crazy names. BSAA Investigations Department final report on the Baker incident. This is definitely a top secret document here. No gas leak. No gas leak at all here. The following details the investigation into the biological disaster in Dulvey, Louisiana, also known as the Baker incident. This document is for employees with Class B clearance and above. We have concluded that the Baker incident was caused by accidental contamination from a prototype bioweapon known as Evelyn. The residents of the Baker household were contaminated by a mold-like pathogen, ludomycete. Evelyn was capable of rapidly producing this mold, and it enabled her to control those infected both mentally and physically. The Baker family were not the only victims. Evelyn manipulated the Bakers into kidnapping dozens of people. These victims were infected and mutated into monstrous creatures called molded. There it is now. Evelyn was originally created in a Munich research facility by the international crime syndicate, the Connections. BSAA dispatched a team to destroy Evelyn. The mission, however, was not successful and Evelyn escaped. Evelyn was then transferred to America by the Connections via ship, along with her caretaker, Mia Winters. So that's kind of very interesting, I always think, when I read this, because you kind of hear about why the Connections transferred Evelyn to America, because an opposing organisation were trying to steal Evelyn, but that's not entirely true. What was actually happening was the BSA dispatched a team to destroy Evelyn, but the mission was a failure. That could be the DLC, possibly. Who knows? Because I don't think you ever see Munich, like, no, you're not, like you do kind of go to like obviously Romania in this game, and you kind of see a little bit about the origins of Evelyn, but you're never in Munich. So the fact of the matter is, there would be a great opportunity to highlight that, like, you know, the BSAA going to Munich research facility. So I mean, dispatching a team to destroy Evelyn. So the mission was a failure, and that led then to the Connections kind of like escaping to America, and that's where she attacked people. However, Evelyn managed to escape during transport. She murdered most of the ship's crew and destroyed the ship. We believe she then abandoned the vessel and had washed up in the Bio near the Baker residence. The aforementioned operation to eliminate Evelyn was BSAA's failing. We cannot deny that as a result, in Evelyn infecting, we cannot deny that as what? We cannot deny that as it resulted in Evelyn infecting innocent civilians. BSAA will have to take responsibility should these events ever come to light. So there you have it. There you have it. As such, advice that a cover story is fed to the media and the BSAA's involvement is to keep quiet. So basically, they don't want the public, the BSAA don't want the public finding out that they failed to protect the world against bioterrorism. They don't want the world to find out that their failings led to the Baker incident. They don't want the world to find out that they're basically a failure of an organisation. So, in order to prevent the public from finding that out and to keep their image strong, they covered up the incident. E-Series Mutamycete Analyst Report. Biological analysis report of the E-Series Mutamycete, henceforth referred to as Mutamycete, recovered from the Baker residence. The Mutamycete has similar characteristics to Cladosporium, black mold, and has incredibly high reproductive properties. It acts like a parasite, infecting the cells and rewriting the DNA of its host. Furthermore, when it combines with another bacteria, it creates its own muscle tissue, brain, and nervous system. As such, an organism infected with the mutamycete transforms into a type of undead monster. Pretty fucking crazy, isn't it? End of report. Bioweapon report file. A human biological weapon constructed through the implantation of mutamycete into a human embryo. Has the ability to infect with a fungal network and control hosts through brainwave signals. Evelyn was driven by a natural instinct to create a family, and the infected victims she controlled were her surrogate family. However, due to an innate defect in her chromosomes, Evelyn's cells reproduced at an accelerated rate, causing her to age rapidly, then die. The Connections report. The Connections is a crime syndicate with no base of operations. The organizational structure is unknown. However, we are aware of their actions on a global level. In recent years, they have been particularly active in Eastern Europe. Most of their activities appear to revolve around the creation and selling of bioweapons. Evelyn was only one of their products. That's interesting, because that really says, hey, this is an actual bioweapon organization. It's an organization that has created multiple bioweapons. I am convinced, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I'm convinced that the Connections is the organization that is referred to during the Resident Evil timeline. It's the organization that Wesker was buying into, that Ada works for. Remember, Ada was actually supposed to be in this game, so that would make sense. That's what I'm convinced of anyway. Reliable sources have confirmed that the criminal organization was founded by Brandon Bailey. Bailey is a shrewd man and was once the right-hand man of Oswald E. Spencer, CEO and president of the Umbrella Corporation. His current status and location is unknown. I like the fact that he's actually still alive. I mean, he could very well become a key kind of, villain, possibly in the DLC or in the next Resident Evil game. Bailey and Spencer became estranged due to differing visions, and Bailey used the connections he made working as the director of the Umbrella Africa Research Center to branch off and found the crime syndicate. The organization's main goal appears to simply be commercial gain. Further investigations are in progress. I think the fact that the organization was basically Umbrella's biggest rival would explain, it makes sense that they would actually be the Connections if it was founded by somebody who kind of grew distant from Oswald Spencer. That's what I think anyway. It's my theory. According to BSAA's top secret documents, the Baker incident, as I know it, was just another statistical blip to be recorded. That fateful night when the tanker washed up in the bayou, Jack took that little girl from the shipwreck and into our home. This is our home. Then she turned everyone crazy, made us into monsters. BSAA knew that when they manipulated the media and covered the BSAA knew when they manipulated the media and covered the whole thing. An easy thing for an organization with a direct backing from the United Nations. They couldn't let anyone know that it was them who let Evelyn, the cause of all this, escape. So it's kind of an understandable, to an extent, cover-up, but it kind of, once they start going down this route, and especially during the end of Village, when you see them using bioweapons, they're really starting to kind of they're no different to they're no different to the corporation that gave birth to the BSA, the Umbrella Corporation. You know what I mean? Their wrongdoings, like no different at all. I continued to investigate and finally caught wind of Eden and Mia's location. 4. Where the Winters are. BSAA Investigations Department. Transcript of interview with Eden Winters. Audio begins. Shall we begin then? Please state your name and occupation. Eden Winters. I'm a systems engineer. How many times do we have to do this? When are you going to let us go? Our interview until now has been necessary to conclude if you had any ulterior motives. Now we understand that you were just an innocent victim in this whole incident. So, you are going to let us go? Yes, but we have one condition. What's that? We would like you and your wife to remain under our supervision. In exchange, we will provide you with a new home, a new country. What are you saying? You want us to take on a new identities? Wait, a new country? You want us to move to another country? To a lovely country in Eastern Europe, to be precise. Europe? You gotta be kidding. Why the hell would we? You are both witnesses to what happened. There's a certain criminal organization who is looking for you. We are doing this for your protection. Think of it more like witness protection, but all the way in Europe. And he said, you can forget everything you experienced here. Start a new life. It's better for both of you, that way. There's no way we can forget everything that happened. I want to talk to Mia about this. Let me talk to Mia. Audio ends. BSAA Investigations Department's transcript interview with Mia Winters. Audio begins. According to our examinations, you are mostly free of the mold now, Mia. Mostly free, which means that when she actually, explain, like, she still had mold in her when she gave birth to Rose Winters. That's confirmed in the game. Is anybody still here in the live chat? By the way, it's gone so quiet. I don't mind chatting to you, like, when I'm reading. I don't mind taking breaks. I hope you don't think that, like, you can't comment. Like, you can comment if you want. Like, I don't mind. Did you tell him about my past? Because Mia Winters was basically, he worked with the connections. No. As part of appreciation for your cooperation, BSAA has not divulged your involvement with the connections. I just want to return to a normal life with Eden, to forget anything. Audio ends. Eden and Mia are in Europe. I was ecstatic that I finally had a clue into their whereabouts. However, that was where my investigation hit a brick wall. BSAA's security is tight, and even with some acquaintance helping me out, no one knew the Winters' exact location. Which makes sense when you consider an international crime syndicate is after them. 2 years passed and no progress. I ended up working as a rookie reporter for a small newspaper in New Orleans. The Baker incident has all but vanished from people's minds. I really do think that the DLC or the next Resident Evil game would kind of like feature Zoe Baker as a reporter, the connections, because you're only really introduced to the connections, like, and we still don't know what they're actually up to, what their motives are, that kind of way. So I think there's going to be a lot of that, you know, a lot of like the BSA kind of turning dark, you know. Baker incident has all but vanished from people's minds. Then one day a letter arrived at my tiny apartment. It was from none other than Mia Winters herself. Mia's letter. Hey, how are you doing? It's been a while, hasn't it? BSAA won't let us send any email or letters, but I gave this directly to an employee to give to you, so it should be safe. Our location is still hidden. I've always wanted to tell you how thankful I am. Ethan and I would have died in that house if it hadn't been for you. Funny thing is, Ethan is already dead. Spoiler alert. It must have been hard to fight all alone for so long, so thank you. I can't tell you where we are, but we're safe and happy. I feel like we're finally settled down into our new life. The house BSA gave us is huge. I don't know what to do with it all. Oh, that reminds me. There's a reason I wanted to write to you. Ethan and I had a baby. I included a picture of her with this letter. I warn you, she is so cute. So there is Rose Winters. We named her Rosemary. Isn't it such a wonderful name? I hope you can come and see her someday. Ethan wants to see you too. I've learned all kinds of local dishes. I'm sure you like them. No need to reply. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Take care of yourself, okay? Sincerely, Mia Winters. A letter from Mia and Ethan out of nowhere. And they have a daughter. I had almost given up finding them. I couldn't hold back the tears. I'm glad the three of them are happy in their new life. Just as I went to close the mailbox, I spotted another envelope. It was embossed with the BSAA logo, the sender unknown. It contained the following. I'm reading this for the first time. I got goosebumps, to be honest. So it really kind of sets up the tone of the main game itself. BSA headquarters. Warning letter to Chris Redfield. Chris, we are growing concerned with your recent activity. According to recent reports, you have taken personal control of the elite unit, the Hound Wolf Squad, without permission. And you've accessed a number of top secret documents, also without permission. What the hell are you doing? What are you and your squad doing in Eastern Europe? Who the fuck is this Miranda that keeps popping up in your correspondence? What's with the investigation into the Winters family? We've been very critical. You've been very critical of BSA since the Baker incident. You might be one of the founding original 11, but I cannot let you continue to run around unchecked. So I will repeat myself. What the hell are you doing? BSA headquarter investigations. There was one thing scribbled on the back of this. It's not over.
Almost the end.
Almost at the end. What's interesting about this is who wrote this letter, who sent this letter, and who wrote "It's not over." Maybe it was Chris, because he had the letter, so it was sent to Chris. So it might have been Chris that sent it. Not sure. Interesting one. This is everything I have on the Baker incident. It's purely for my own reference. I don't intend to send it out to the general public. I will continue my investigation. Many have tried to get in my way, slow me down, but I'm doing this for my family. I won't give up. I know that someday I'll be able to give Ethan and Mia my thanks directly. At least I pray I can. My name is Zoe Baker, a survivor of this tragedy. The Baker Incident Report end. I always like reading that. I really like reading that. I really think that it should at least base the Village DLC around this kind of like investigation.
What, Zoe?
Yep, Zoe Baker. It was Zoe Baker in the end. So I think they should kind of have her as maybe even the main character, investigating the BSAA, investigating why, what they're doing. Like, you know, I don't know. I'm not Capcom, so it's hard to kind of, you know, put it all together. But I think the
Never read
connections.
this before, that's crazy.
It really is crazy. It was Zoe the whole time. But I think they should have the connections play a massive part. Obviously, Brandon Bailey play a massive part, maybe as the villain. Their true motives. Zoe Baker as an investigator.
A Ethan DLC, a Zoe DLC, a Chris, and one more would be interesting.
It would be, yeah. Maybe just one massive campaign DLC would be great too. You know, instead of like a rushed kind of put together kind of like 20-minute DLC, not a hero. You know, just something expansive. You know, something expansive would be great. What else now? Ada Wong. You know, maybe confirmation, maybe finally confirming that the organization is the Connections. And just seeing the BSAA in this new light as almost like the kind of the bad guys. Maybe they're actually working with.
Maybe you should new game plus this game and go back. It would be interesting to replay.
I just want DLC. I just want DLC to be honest. But it would be though. But I just want DLC. What was I going to say? What if the BSAA were actually working with the Connections? And maybe that's one of the reasons why there's this kind of cover-up kind of a thing. Like, will that make sense? It wouldn't explain why they were protecting Mead and Ania though, in a way. But you gotta wonder though.
Detective Johnny.
Yeah, on the scene. I'm thinking though. It's rather interesting how Miranda managed to get to Mia and Ethan Winters so easily. You kind of got to wonder, maybe she was tipped off. And then you have to ask, who tipped her off? And I think it could very well be the BSAA themselves. We could argue it was the Connections, but again, how would the Connections know where Mia? And I mean, if Zoe couldn't find out where they were, right? If Zoe couldn't find out where they were because of the fact that they were in witness protection, then how was she able to get there? How was she able to find them? Although I think that might have been explained in the game. Who does
Chris work for?
Pretty much himself at this stage. He took control of a kind of a rogue. Well, he's gone rogue, but he took control of a kind of militia within the BSAA. So he kind of technically still works for the BSAA. No, he doesn't work for them. He's gone rogue. But what's strange though is he's still. It's actually confusing. He was hired by the new umbrella, Blue Umbrella in 7, but he didn't have like the logo on him in Village, so I don't know what's happening with this Blue Umbrella thing. But in Village, he officially does not work for anyone other than himself. He's kind of gone against the BSAA. But I'm thinking though, maybe there's a kind of maybe the BSAA, this Blue Umbrella, the Connections, maybe they're all like together. You know? Maybe they made some kind of a deal. It's a bit similar to what were they called again in Revelations? Was it the FDC or the FBC? Remember that? The guy behind that, he was actually working with the terrorist group Veltro. So yeah, maybe just maybe the BSA are actually working with the Connections. Maybe Chris Redfield and Zoe Baker will kind of like uncover this, like kind of, you know, bring this to light, you know. Again, Detective Johnny on the scene. So that was that. That was that. Huh? That was that. There's also a bit of concept art actually as well, which I have none of. What the hell? I've got no concept art. That can't be right. Nope, I don't think I've got any concept art.
Go buy some.
I might just do that actually, yeah. Buy some Chris Redfield concept art. Whoa! That is a very different. That is a very casual looking Chris Redfield, isn't it? I like that actually. A new design for Chris Redfield. Initial drafts of the story had him visit the Winchesters dressed in civilian clothes. The Mia that Chris shot was actually Miranda in disguise. When he loses Rose to her, he calls on his task force, the Hound Wolves, for backup. Jeez, that's actually a cool design, isn't it? Actually, what else can I buy, actually? I can get a rocket pistol, can I? Oh, never mind. I have to finish the main story on the village or shadow difficulty. Oh, fuck that. This thing can fuck right off. The only way you can get that weapon... Trey, how are you? Welcome back to Green Hill Gaming. I just read the Baker incident report.
I would love to see this.
See what? The rocket pistol?
No, I want the lightsaber.
Oh, the lightsaber. Man, I'll tell you about the lightsaber in a minute. Trey, how are you keeping? You're very welcome to the live stream. You basically have to get at least an SS rank.
I'm good, slightly smiling face.
Glad you're keeping well. And that's every stage. Complete all stages with at least SS rank in the mercenaries. Good luck with that one. Good luck.
Didn't you do that?
No, I didn't. Oh, look how you make it sound so easy. Didn't you do that? Didn't you do? Fucking hell, man. It's impossible, man. It's insane. It's fucking daftly insane. Daftly insane, man. Trust me.
Try one.
And I've fucking done it before, man. It's stupid, man. I hate it. No. This live stream was only supposed to be about me reading out the Baker incident report. How do I get these again? Figure. Oh yeah, you actually have to buy this game actually. Well, I might just do a little bit of mercenaries, will I? Where is it? Mercenaries. Start. So you can see that I got an SS in some of them, but there's a lot more. Like, stand by. All right, so it has been a while. It has been a while. I literally don't even know what the fuck.
Welcome.
Haven't seen these.
Okay.
This is all an investment, Ethan.
Yes, I know. What the fuck am I doing? I haven't played this in so long, man.
This is all an investment, Ethan. Looking forward to testing it out?
What am I doing?
Your coin.
I just sold it, didn't I?
Pay me no mind. Uh-huh. Delighted to.
How do I sell stuff again to him?
Securing goods is more important than anything.
Right,
Anything, my friend.
Okay, okay. I'm good.
Thank you for your patronage.
Thank you. Where do I go?
Start.
A little rusty loaf.
Just a little bit, yeah. Fuck this shit, man. They got me started. That's what it is, basically, Coulson. That's what it is. More things can go fuck themselves, to be honest with you. SS on every fucking... I mean, it's taking the fucking piss, like, seriously. But, yeah. Fuck that, like, you know what I'm saying? I hope. There is a way you can actually spend real money, actually, I think. You can unlock the entire content of the shop, which is basically this, like, so everything here.
Replies Aber.
I can pay €5 on it if I wanted to. So it's nice to have that option, to be honest with you. I don't think I'd ever do that, though, to be honest. I don't think I'd ever do that.
And yay for $2.
No, it's a bit more, actually. I think I'll just check there now. I think it's more than $5. I think it is... tell you now. Where's it gone? No, man, it's €5. Extra content shop, all access voucher. €5, man. €5 here.
It's always on sale.
Well, it's not on sale now, unfortunately. But I don't think I'll be that kind of a person now, to be honest with you. Anyway, that's all I really wanted to do. That's all I really wanted to do in this live stream, was to read the Baker incident report. I always like reading that. It's nice. Really kind of sets up a potential story arc, really, to be honest with you. Like, you know, this new BSAA.
Have a good one, Johnny.
Thank you, man. Listen, I say good night, Coulson. Thanks for watching. Thanks for everyone else watching as well. And see you all in the next live stream.